Hi, it's Rosie from the San Diego Natural History Museum. I have a really fun book to read with you today. This is called Please Please the Bees. It is written and illustrated by Gerald Kelley. It stars a couple of really fun animals, a bear and some bees. Benedict was a creature of habit. He liked to do the same thing every day. Every morning he woke up at the same time. Every morning he stretched, he scratched, he yawned a great yawn. It's a pretty big yawn. Every morning the bees delivered 3 jars full of honey. Wow, that's a lot of honey. Benedict ate the same breakfast he'd eaten since he was just a fuzzy cub. Toast with honey and tea with extra honey. Next came his daily routine. Practicing, perfecting his honey cake recipe, knitting, and running errands. At night, he'd read, then have one last cup of honey tea before bed. Life was sweet. Until one morning, things weren't the same. In fact, something terribly unsane had happened. Can you see what's different? There was no more honey. The bees had gone on strike. There it is. The little bee has a sign, on strike. Look at all the bees. They have little signs. When somebody goes on strike, that means they don't want to work anymore. They think something's wrong, so they're going to try and convince Benedict. Benedict's breakfast wasn't the same without his honey. Without his honey tea, he couldn't knit. Practice was dreadful. He didn't even bother with his errands. No errands. His whole day. Benedict became deeply discouraged. Just then he heard someone say, "Hey, you, in the fur coat." It was a very small bee with a remarkably loud voice. "We need to talk," said the bee. "Talk?" grumbled Benedict. "I let you all live in my yard. All I ask is for a few jars of honey. You should be grateful, not go on strike." "A few jars," said the bee. "Buddy, we deliver 3 jars of honey to you every day, every month, every year. Do the math, Einstein." It's a lot of honey when you think about it. "The hive is a wreck," the bee continued. "It's all we can do to keep the walls from falling in. The roof leaks, wind blows through the cracks. The last 3 queens up and quit on us because of lousy working conditions." See, it says, "I'm done." The bee showed Benedict the garden. "Look," the bee said, "weeds are everywhere. We have to fly miles away just to find enough flowers to make our honey. So we voted to strike." On the weeds. "You're taking us for granted," the bee declared. "You want honey? Things need to change. It's up to you, bear." And with that, the very small bee flew off. There's a little bee. The thought of losing his honey sent a chill down Benedict's spine. He had a lot to think about. "Maybe I've been too selfish," Benedict said to himself. "I never thought about what the bees need. But how am I going to make this right?" What do you think? So he did some research. He did a little shopping. And he did a lot of work. Look, he's cleaning up the weeds, fixing the hive, planting some new flowers. Been very busy. Do you think the bees will like it? We'll see. Benedict even learned how to harvest honey. I suppose it's a bit rude to expect them to do it all by themselves. Finally, he was ready to show the bees all the work he had done. What would they think? He held his breath as he waited. Then he heard the remarkably loud voice of the very small bee. Drop the signs, girls. It's time to go back to work. These days, Benedict is still a creature of habit. He still has his daily routine, but he doesn't take the honey for granted anymore. He knows his life is sweet, but now it's even sweeter. For everyone. And that's the end of that story. Isn't that great? I really like that the bear and the bees learned to work together and take care of each other. And it wasn't just the bees taking care of the bear anymore, right? It's kind of like what we're doing right now. We're taking care of each other. We take care of each other and our world and everything. Everybody will be happier and our life will be sweeter, right? So today I have a couple of really great crafts for you. The first, I made a bee out of a spoon. Kind of like Sporky from Toy Story, do you remember? So I just did the antennas are paper and his little wings are a coffee filter that I use. Gave him some stripes right here. It's kind of fun, have my own little bee to go around. And then the other thing I made, because I love the bear, I made a bear puppet out of a paper bag. So you could make a puppet out of a paper bag, any kind of animal you like. If you don't want to do a bear, you could do maybe an alligator or a dinosaur, maybe a bunny rabbit, something that you like. So I hope you enjoyed today's story. I'd love to see any kind of crafts that you make. If you want to post a picture for me, that would be wonderful. Really enjoyed sharing this story with you, and I'll see you next week.